Hey, a winter chill is in the air. Let's get in the gym where it's warm, where it's exciting, where the game is. But how we're going to get there, we're going to get better today by looking at plays. Let's look at 5 plays. Stick around. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back. 5-Play Friday. We're looking at plays. We're looking at all the things. We're looking to get better as basketball officials. My name is Greg Austin with The Better Official. We craft video to help basketball officials get better and take control of their officiating career. Without delay, let's look at our first play today. You make the call play. Let's take a look at play number 1.
Stop and pop. Zaire Dobar.
Excellent three-pointer.
Oh, I looked over and back. Timeout.
All right, ruled a legal play by our officials on this game. What do you have on this play? Put your ruling down in the comments below and stick around to the end of the video. We'll look at all the things on play number 1. All right, with that, let's move on to play number 2.
That's 7. It's a 16-2 game, 2:59 to go. In the first quarter, Bennett Wassenaar picking up more. Ball goes out of bounds, turnover. It'll go to Sioux Falls Christian. There's a little confusion there about whose ball that was going to be.
I think there's still some confusion.
Looks like there's still a little confusion. It's going to be Husky ball. That was off of Sioux Falls Christian.
All right, new in 2023, we now have, as officials, the ability to rectify the situation when we have given a throw-in to the wrong team. In this situation, the ball should have been awarded to black. It was deflected by white. Our center official offers guidance to our lead, who also appears to be ball watching on the play. But we have the correct ruling. This is a black throw-in. Right? We go to administer the throw-in. Suddenly a player appears next to us. We hand them the basketball inadvertently in this situation. But the crew has the presence of mind to recognize, hey, wait a minute, we have screwed this up. We can now fix it. In the past, of course, until this year, once the throw-in had ended by, in this instance, being legally touched on the court, we would not have the opportunity to correct. But we knew this year we do have the opportunity to correct. Now, we also have the opportunity to put the correct time back on the clock if we have definitive knowledge of that. This ball was inbounded at 2:51. The clock ran. When the original throw-in occurred, it was at 2:51. The clock ran. And then when the throw-in was then re-administered, 2:51 was put on the clock. But also for shot clock states, note the status of the shot clock. It's 24 seconds when we erroneously award the ball to the wrong team. The timing of the game gets corrected, but the shot clock needs to be corrected as well. This would be a situation where we really have to have great knowledge of clocks in this situation. They end up putting 2:51, and the shot clock ran from 35 to 33 and stays there. So just reminder for those in a shot clock state in this situation, if we are going to make an adjustment to the clock, we need to have that awareness of the shot clock as well. Even if we don't make an adjustment to the clock, we need to have an awareness of the shot clock as well. So that'll be a tough situation, but a good play to see and just remind ourselves, hey, we can now fix these. I have not had one myself this season where we fixed, but looking forward to that first opportunity. All right, our crew worked really effectively to get this play right. And one thing that's right is our tremendous show supporters here at 5 Play Friday. Who is up on the show supporter big board today? Casey Cody, Joe Del Collo, George Harrum, John Landers, and Bret Temple. Much appreciated, much love. You want to support the show? Link on the screen. Link, show description. Link in the first pinned comment, and link up above. Awesome. Onward, forward. Let's look at our next play.
Great decisions. There's Morin. Kicks into the corner. 3. Count it.
No, they gave him a 2, though. But Marshall got the foul.
Two-pointer. Good by their leading scorer, Austin Clark. Just kind of a little touch by Marshall Smythe. And
All right, our center official does a great job of staying with the shooter on this play. Obviously, that's critical. As basketball officials, a lot of positives in this situation. Now we have a player whose legs on their shot drift forward. We have to evaluate whether this is their shooting motion, right? Oftentimes when a player's taking a longer shot, their feet can move forward. The liability on the defense for that contact on that play, that is illegal contact, and we want to get illegal contact on airborne shooters. So a great job at the spot, right? Indicating the scored goal, then indicating that it was a three-point try. Great use of the reporting area here as well, right? This is in great position for where they're going to be for the resulting free throw. The official, very economical use. A little low on the signals. I mean, I'd prefer a little higher, but just great work by our center official on this play, right? It's so critical. I mean, one of the most high-value things we can do on the court is stay with airborne shooters, right? We need to see them. Is the player behind the three-point line? When they go up, we're looking point of contact on a play. This defender is quite a ways away, so we don't really have a contest up top on this play, but then we have to watch that player land, make sure that they do so without that illegal contact. Yeah. So as a young official, right, recognize whether or not you are seeing your players up, down, and a little bit more. Make sure you officiate that landing in this play. Now, this is a three-person game. I've got two other officials who can handle the rebounding action. I want to get to the rebounding action, but this part of the game is so critical. This is a high priority. If we can protect our shooters in our game, we can, at the end of the game say, hey, we did a great job of doing that. So, appreciate that play and I like it. I like that play a lot. Right? Just a reminder, stay with your shooters, get an open look, officiate the play all the way to the floor.
great
Hey,
decisions.
that play was submitted by the tremendous Chris Janish from South Dakota. You want to submit a play to 5 Play Friday? Here's a link on the screen. There's a link in the show description. First pin comment, and yes.
Just kind of a
I'll put one up above.
just kind of a little
Submit
touch
your
by
play,
Marshall
and
Smythe.
maybe it'll appear on an episode of 5 Play Friday. With that, let's look at our next play.
Pike
Now Braxton Miller in the ball game, a 5'8" sophomore. He and Pike play catch. Oh, and it's turned over. Here goes Anthony.
Oh!
Boom! Kind of a rattle around on a duck.
And Doug Miller wants the technical because he was hanging on the rim quite a bit.
All right. Don't see this play every day. What do we have here? We have a situation where there is, first of all, there's a sudden steal and it gets our crew out of position, right? That happens in the game. Player goes up to dunk. The ball does not enter the basket on their dunk. They hold on to the ring. They swing, and then the ball passes through the basket. What do we have on this play? Our coaching staff here suggests that's a technical foul for hanging on the rim or doing something. I don't know. And what do we have on this play? What would be the correct ruling in this situation? Now, we have a situation where the player is attempting to dunk and holds on to the ring and swings. Are there players in close proximity that could affect their landing area, and we would deem that it would be allowable for the player to hang on the ring and not at a technical foul in this situation? I think that's certainly reasonable, right? When we have a player who swings like this, oftentimes they need to regain their balance. If they just let go when they're in this position, they are at risk of injury, etc. Oftentimes a player will swing back and then drop. But what do we have on this play, right? Even though our player has legally attempted to dunk, and we're judging that they are legally in contact with the ring, we cannot be in contact with the basket when the ball is on or in the basket. This would be a basket interference violation by rule. Even though the player got there legally, this is a basket interference to contact the basket while the ball is on, which if it was sitting on the ring, or in, which it ultimately ends up as it enters the basket and passes through. The correct ruling here would be a basket interference violation if you are deeming this player's being on the ring to be legal in this situation due to the proximity of other players. Now, before we leave this play, we have to note our lead official, new trail official here. When our coach comes onto the court, the emphatic count that he gives in the direction of the head coach, like he's almost gonna hit him, and then, what are you doing on the court? Yeah, we have to notice that. So the correct ruling here would be basket interference violation if you did not assess a technical foul for hanging on the ring. This is not a scored goal by rule, not a play we see every day. And one of the things we like about 5 Play Friday is we see plays that we don't see every day, so that when they happen in our game, we're ready to officiate them. Let's look at our next play. Woo.
And we've got Johnson and Burns. And then way over in the corner, we've got Brody McCarty. And this is Bret into the corner. And I don't know what that call was.
So he went out of bounds before he came back in to catch the ball.
Eagle eye, Les Schroeder.
No, actually, I stole that.
All right, here's that play. You know that one. Of course, new this year, we have new rules regarding players voluntarily leaving the court, returning to the court, and being the first to return. So these rules are top of mind. What we have to recognize is what is the spirit and intent of the rule. If a player voluntarily runs off of the court, saying, oh, I want to get from one side of the basket to the other. There's players in my way. I'm going to go out of bounds and return to the court on the other side. Is that what happens on this play? No. No, it is not. This player leaves the floor due to their momentum, and that is legal. Their return to the court is legal. There is no restriction on them being the first to touch in this situation. We've got to recognize we maybe have this rule top of mind and we're super sensitive to it and we don't want to miss it, etc. But this is an incorrect ruling on this play. I noticed in a Facebook forum where people were asking, have you had this play this year? And a lot of officials were saying, oh, I've had it a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, etc. And I have to ask, wait, are we applying the rule correctly? This is an incorrect ruling in this situation. Players who leave the court due to momentum, which happens all the time, especially near the basket. Player goes in for a layup, and their momentum carries them off of the court. They save the basketball. In this instance, they drive and pass the basketball and leave the court due to momentum. There is no restriction on this player returning to the court. None. That is not the purpose of the rule. The rule is specifically designed for players choosing, oh wait, I can't use the court here. I'm going to choose to run off of the court to get to another spot on the court. I'm going to make a voluntary decision to leave the court, right? And then return, and then the restriction applies. So, good to see this play so that we can just be aware of the correct ruling in this situation would be a no call. There is no restriction. And also recognize, well, maybe I have a misunderstanding about the rule, or maybe I'm a little too eager like to find it in my game because it is a new rule. Hey, back at the start of the show, we had play number 1, a backcourt play. Let's take a look at play number 1.
Stop and pop, Zaire Dopar.
Excellent three-pointer.
Oh, I looked over and back. Timeout.
All right, so we have a situation where we have team control on the court. White is dribbling the basketball in the backcourt. Dribbler approaches a division line, a very crowded division line where there are, how many lines do we have? 6 lines adjacent to the division line. Anytime that's the situation, we need to take a moment and process and make sure we understand which is the division line. But we have a dribbler dribbling from the backcourt to the front court. When a dribbler is dribbling from the backcourt to the front court, all 3 points must be established in the front court for the ball to gain front court status. In this situation, we see our dribbler 1 foot, 2 foot, but the ball never bounces in the front court. This is a legal play. There's no establishment of front court status on this play. Now, what's missing in this situation? This game, I believe, is in Illinois, where they would have a visible 10-second count, right? So our trail official ends up in the front court officiating backwards, but, the 10-second count is still on the table. The coach for that team recognizes, hey, let's call a timeout here, right? So we would want to have our visible count, if that's appropriate. If we're using the shot clock to determine a 10-second violation, that would be something different. But we want to be aware of this player still having backcourt status, and a 10-second count would still be in effect on this play. But this is the correct ruling. This is not a backcourt violation. This is not a situation where we need a call. So, no call, correct, by our crew in this situation. Yeah, we like to see plays like that. Sometimes they can confuse us. Now, sometimes officials will believe that in all situations, we can't have front court status until all 3 points. But this only refers to this exact situation where a player is dribbling from the backcourt to the front court. For that dribbler to establish front court status, all 3 points must be in the front court. What's that you say? A bonus play? On 5 Play Friday? A bonus play? Yeah, I got one. All right, so just a play where we have a scored goal and we have a throw in after the scored goal. In this situation, the official needs to make a judgment of when the ball is at the disposal of the thrower. We are instructed to allow the team a moment, possibly, to gain control of the basketball or recognize the situation, right? But in this situation, we have a player in white 33, is holding the basketball. They obviously have it at their disposal. He's not supposed to be the one doing the throw-in. A teammate, they're pointing, hey, get back here. It's your job. We have a pressing situation where the opponents are ready to play basketball, and our official properly begins a 5-second count. We do not have to have a player holding the basketball out of bounds, right? This rule change occurred several years ago, we're making a judgment. This team has the ball at their disposal. The instruction is we are to begin our count. If we watch our official, it's like our brain says, wow, he's counting mighty fast. It's an accurate count. We've done everything right in this situation. The key part of the equation is recognizing the team, giving the team an opportunity to recognize that it is their throw-in. And once we do that, which they obviously knew, right, there's confusion amongst the team. We begin the throw in. That's a cue to them. Hey, you better get out of bounds quickly and throw the ball in. But this is how we should handle this play in our game. Really straightforward. But great to see it in the wild, right? Understanding what it is that we're looking for on the play. We're looking for the ball being available to the team and them recognizing as such. Once that's the case, we begin our count and the game proceeds as it will. All right, fantastic. Appreciate you joining us today. If this is the video content you find valuable as a basketball official, it'd be a great time to do all of the things. The liking is critical. You like this video, it helps us with the YouTube algorithm, gets us in front of more basketball officials so we can all get better together. And one of the ways we get better together is with the support of our tremendous show supporters. Allow me to thank them: Casey Cody, Joe Del Collo, George Harrum, John Landers, and Bret Temple. Much appreciated, much love. There's always an opportunity to buy us a coffee. Link is on the screen in the show description. First pinned comment. Will I? Yes. Yes, I will. And up above. Awesome. Additional video content is available. Here is a video you should watch next. And here is an opportunity to get advantage of our new training material for new officials. In any event, we'll see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody.